Next, okay, without further ado, we have this guy is one of the best in the business, probably the absolute best trainer, the most passionate trainer I've ever seen. This guy loves to pour into people. Bryan Mendenhall, man, you're super humble. You're helpful. You are knowledgeable. Just everything, man. I really appreciate you coming on board. I know you want to come on and just talk about hiring, how to build and sell at a massive level, which you've done. And so I'm going to just let you take it away, man. And I'll probably jump in and ask questions.
So Greg, if you prefer, I'd actually prefer this because I don't know your team. I don't know where everybody is right now. And I love to know my audience and who I'm talking to. You know your guys. So ask me questions. So get the most out of me that you possibly can while I'm on here. But I want to first say I appreciate you and the way that you're leading from the front, going out doing almost 200K is crazy, bro. And I had you on 2 weeks ago. We're still talking about your call that you did for our team. So it's kind of funny how you're a student of the business. You learned and you went out and implemented, and now people are coming back to you and you're helping others. That's how this thing works, man. So I'm humbled and I appreciate you, man, for everything that you do and that you're doing for the company, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. So for the most part, the people that are in this call, we have I would say 60% of them are brand new agents that have been in the field for a month or less, or they're like in the end of their licensing process.
That's good.
And then about 40% of us have been in the field a little bit, like from the 2 to 6 month range. And then there's me.
Okay. So let's talk in the beginning to Jamie. I want to mute Jamie. Let's talk in the beginning to those people that are brand new, just started. Somebody said,
David?
What was the
Who's David?
Jamie is funny. All right, so let's talk to those people that are brand new. And somebody said, what was my biggest hurdle? Let me read the rest of the question. What was my biggest hurdle between personal production and building a bit? Okay, so I'll just say what was my biggest hurdle in the beginning and the getting started in the beginning. And then we'll get into recruiting. So my biggest hurdle in the beginning, I would say, was I come from W-2. I've only ever worked for the gym. I worked as a manager at LA Fitness Sports Club. I got paid a certain amount of money. I made about 120 grand a year. I worked like a slave. I probably worked 70, 80 hours a week, okay? But the only thing I ever knew was W-2. Every Friday, every 2 weeks, I got paid, right? So I knew, like, I put the time in, click, clink, I cashed my check. It got automatic deposit in my account. I knew that was how it worked. I had never been a business owner. My business acumen was very, very low. And kind of like when I almost started here, not here, but the other company I was at, they almost made it seem like I was an employee still until like I actually got started. And then they're like, cool, you're on your own. And I'm like, all right, what do I do? So one of the biggest hurdles was investing money because I never had to invest money before. This is so foreign to me. It's like Chinese. I always worked, put the hours in and then got paid. Here is backwards. You're not a business owner, by the way. If you're brand new right now, you're not a business owner, you're self-employed. Okay, you're not a business owner until you actually have a business. You have some people that are working with you, your business partners. But in the very beginning, you're self-employed. The problem is you're out of business if you don't spend the money on leads, okay? So the biggest hurdle was investing money. I had somebody challenge me and say, hey, you need to spend real money on leads. Well, my whole insurance career before, I spent about $250 a week on leads, Greg. So like, that was like a lot to me. That's $1,000 a month. You know what I mean? That's a lot. So I had to get my mind wrapped around spending more money. Somebody challenged me to spend more. I said, all right, I probably had 3-4 grand in my account at the time. None of my bills were paid for the month. So I didn't have any money because that money belonged to the bill collectors. Does that make sense? I literally took some of that money, $500, and I bought leads. Okay. I spent money on leads. I still wasn't that good, but I made $2,500 back from that $500. And the person I talked to about leads was Mark Mead. So I went to Mark and I said, all right, Mark, when you laughed at me and you said spend real money on leads, I said $500. You laughed. What kind of money were you actually talking about? He said $2,000 a week. I almost had a heart attack. But I took the $2,500 I just got, Greg. I swallowed my pride. I had blind faith, and I spent $2,000 of that $2,500 on leads. This was in the beginning of January 2016. Every single week for the rest of the year, I spent $2,000 on leads. I ended up spending $100,000 on leads for the year. I deposited over $533,000 back in my bank account. So that was my biggest hurdle, overcoming the fear of spending money on leads. It's not spending, guys, it's investing. And if you're not investing, you're out of business. The number one rule of business is to stay in business. In this business, money for leads is you being in business. That's overcoming my first biggest hurdle on the sell side. On the building side, I would honestly say it was the same exact thing, but it was more of hiring staff. And I didn't have a problem hiring staff, Greg. I actually would hire staff. So I hired an admin. I found a real good one. I got lucky with that. Okay. But when it came time to hiring a recruiter, I would hire a recruiter and I would want instant gratification, like day one. Like, you're around 2 weeks, I want results. A month, I'm like, Mark, all right, I'm not seeing what I need to see. It's not working out. He'd say, hey, calm down, relax. It takes a little bit of time. And then by week 5, I'd be calling him like, hey, something happened. He's like, what happened? I'm like, I fired him. It didn't work. And I would keep doing that over and over again. I had to stop worrying about fear. So now I kind of swallowed that. And now you don't want to ask me when I'm investing because it's not the same. But as a brand new agent, I would tell you your biggest hurdle is going to be just pulling the trigger on that first employee. Your first employee, guys, here's the magic. That first employee needs to be an admin / recruiter / personal assistant / do whatever the heck I tell you to do because I'm a small business. And guess what? We're growing together. That's the magic that I have when I talk to my staff now. I say, hey, I'm a small business owner, but you can see my passion. You see how much I believe in this? I'm looking for someone that wants to grow with me. And if you want to grow with me, sky's the limit. As I grow, you grow. Aiko, any of you guys know Aiko, she's a beast. She's my operation manager now. She started as my admin. I hired her at $12 an hour. She was with me for 3 weeks and she was holding her weight in gold. I was like, you need a promotion. Another 2 weeks, I gave her another promotion. Now this girl's making more than her husband. He's a high-ranking guy in the military. And she ain't going nowhere. That's how you want to build it. But I hope I didn't go too crazy. I wanted to answer both of those questions kind of together, if that makes sense.
No, I don't think you went too far at all. In fact, I loved it. With your experience, and you've been in the business for a long time. With your experience, besides just the story, which is a very powerful story, and I have a very similar story for how I jumped in and just threw a bunch of money at leads and I found success. What are ways that you can help young, brand new agents understand that importance, or like kind of just influence them to make the right decision to jump and buy those leads?
So, Greg, what I would first say, guys, and just talking to any and every person here, like I would ask, like, David, like, that kid looks super sharp. Like, I don't know, Dave, I'm mute for a second. How long you been around, man?
I've been around. Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear, dude. You got a professional mic like you do. I like freaking podcasts every day.
I've been in the industry for some time, about 5.5 years.
Are you spending real
money
money on leads?
I am, yes.
Okay. Who's not spending real money on leads? And there's not a lot of people on pictures. Barbara. Hey, Barbara. I'm mute for a second. Thanks, David. I appreciate you, bro. You look sharp.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Barbara, you spending real money on leads? No, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How long you been around?
A month.
Okay. So you're just getting started. You just got your contracts. You're ready to roll, right? Okay. Every day you don't spend money on leads, you're hurting yourself, by the way. But I want to talk to you real quick and any other brand new agent, okay? Let me ask you this and just answer like truthfully. It's not a trick question, okay? Do you think it's more dangerous to spend $200 on leads or $2,000 on leads? Be honest.
2,000.
It's a lot more dangerous, right?
200.
No, whoever said that is wrong.
200. I can't afford.
Let me stick to
2,000.
Barbara. So Barbara, 2,000 is a lot more dangerous, right? It's scary.
Mhm.
And like you're spending real money and like, oh, it's scary, right? So let's take a look at, for example, instant internet leads, okay?
Okay.
If you bought instant internet leads, like the person that was on the agent spotlight, he's actually killing it on them, right? But if you got instant internet leads, let's just say they're 10 and not 11, okay? For easy math's sake, you got 20 of them, right?
Okay. Yep.
To me, I would be, you know what, in a brick if I only had 20 opportunities at making a basket, right?
Mhm.
Take that same number, and if you had 200 chances, think about that for a second. Now, before you answer anything, listen to this.
Okay.
If the average commission is 100%, okay? Do you know what the average sell is for an FFL agent?
What?
$84 a month, okay? It's $1,000 okay? So if the average sell is 1,000 and the average commission for someone to start whatever, let's say it's 100, right? One sell, you get $1,000, right?
Yeah.
How many sales do you have to break even to break even on the $200?
See, I keep thinking ahead because I keep thinking, okay, even if they
No. It's okay, Barbara. It's not a trick. I just want you to answer the question. The
I make
$200 that you
$2,000.
spend, how many sales do you have to make to get your money back for the 200?
Two.
Nope. If $1,000 is your average commission, right?
Uh-huh.
You have to make how many sales to get $200 back?
Oh, one.
One sell, right?
Yeah.
Now, let's take the same number, the $2,000, right?
Yep.
If the average commission is 1,000, how many sales do you have to get your money back?
Two.
Now you only get 75% of your money up front, right?
Yes. Yes.
So let's say 3.
Okay.
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 Now you got 20 shots. I'm giving you a basketball. You might not be good at basketball. My jumper is pretty wet. I'm pretty good. Okay. But let's say I'm giving you this basketball, Barbara. Okay. You only have 20 shots from the foul line to make the one shot. You might be nervous. But if I gave you 200 basketballs and said, shoot as many times as you want, guess what? You're going to have your eyes closed and you're going to make 10 or 12. Okay. You need to sell 2 to get the money back for 2,000. You need to sell 1 to get the money back for 200. Do you see how many more opportunities you have with 2,000? Do you see where the person that shouted out and said $200 is a lot more dangerous? They were right. You're playing with fire. Something magical happens when you spend more money on leads. A couple things happen, okay? The first thing happens if everybody on here knows what swag is, okay? Swag is a real thing, okay? Swag is an attitude. Swag is confidence. Something happens when you got unlimited opportunities at helping these people. You get confident. You don't care as much. Your guard comes down. You talk different on the phone. With 20 leads, you want to know what you sound like when you call them? Hey, Mike, it's Barbara. I'm here because you're trying so freaking hard to help that person. You got 200 of them. You don't give a crap. Hey, Mike. Hey, it's Barbara. Yeah, I'm getting back. You seem annoyed because you have so many leads to call through. That's the difference. When in the home, the same exact thing happens. You're sitting with a family. You got 10 other appointments that next day, 10 appointments the next day. You're sitting with the family and you're like, look, you better not act crazy because if you do, I'm going to leave. I got other appointments. That's what happens. That's the power of spending more money. So either way, you got to sell 1 or you got to sell 2. It's a lot easier to sell 2, 4, 6, 10 from spending more money, if that makes sense. Does it now make sense that it's dangerous to spend 200? Whoever shouted that out, are you spending money on leads? Whoever said 200 is more dangerous?
It was me.
Hey, Maria.
Yeah.
So are you spending that money on leads?
Yeah, like 1,500 to 2,300 a week.
Can I ask you a question for you to answer for Barbara? And you be honest, please. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Was it harder? Was your job harder when you spend less money on leads, or was it harder when you spend more money?
Well, I just did it from the beginning. So
She didn't even
there
get
have
to
been
suck.
weeks
Okay. Guys,
I didn't have a harder, but I
Yeah.
can tell you that sometimes there weren't as much to find. So I was kind of scrounging at the last minute. I wasn't prepared. So those days were harder, but I ended up, scooping up more leads later.
so Maria, you played the cheat code on and this game of FFL. That was the cheat code. Okay. She did it the right way, Barbara, and a lot of people don't. So the answer to that is, when you spend less money, it's so much harder. It makes your job like literally 10 times harder, because you're working so freaking hard trying to squeeze the juice out of every single lead. Maria said, hey, I'm not gonna play that game. I see people struggling. I'm not gonna try to figure it out myself. I'm gonna spend a lot of money from the beginning and not have a hard time. Does it still suck? Yes, the numbers are gonna be the numbers. See, I don't care. Maria, she might be on the phone. She might be good. She shows up. She smiles. Everybody likes her. None of that matters. She's still going to have the 70% of leads that say, jump off a bridge, screw yourself, I'm not interested. She goes through that. She don't care about that. She cares about the 30% that say yes. But because she's spending so much, that 30% is a bigger number, and it allows her to make money. And it allows her to have her job easy. Does that make sense, Barbara?
Yes.
If you have money in your account right now, which you don't have to get personal, you ain't got to tell me how much you have. I guarantee it's more than when I first started this business. Invest the money. Send me a message on Facebook and say, hey, I want to thank you for challenging me, because I did. I spent $1,500. I just spent $1,000 a Dow session. Spend $1,000 on Monday, spend $1,000 on Thursday. Do that for 2 weeks and tell me that you're not in a better place. I want you to message me on Facebook and say, hey, thank you. These are my results. I sucked for a little bit. I got my teeth kicked in, but I figured it out, and now I'm doing this, this, and this. Can you do that for me?
Yes.
I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Maria.
I told you that he was the most passionate trainer. I was, man, Bryan, I love it. So, when should an agent, like you talked about staff. When do you recommend agents even look at getting an admin? And how do they find that perfect admin like you did?
Okay, so that's a great question, Greg. So I recommend for an agent to get staff the first time you're running appointments and you have to call Americo and you wait for an hour and a half, and you're the first time you're inconvenienced, guys, which is going to be pretty soon. It's going to be immediate. Here's the magic. I'm gonna move you over here. So here's the magic, Greg. Hiring that first staff does so much for you. Like, the first thing it's going to do is you gotta remember, guys, if you're calling Americo and you're doing a whole bunch of that crap, you turn yourself into a $10, $12 an hour employee. Okay. If you're making $10, $12 an hour, or you're doing that kind of work, how are you going out and making $1,000 an hour? Every hour that you spend on the phone with Americo, and if you ever called Americo, it's an hour to wait. You're waiting an hour sometimes. Your admin can do that instantly. There's some things that happen. You free up time, which allows you to go make more money, right? So you're not on the phone with them. You're running more appointments. You can delegate the things that you don't need to do. Welcome letters. Oh, thank you. Sending out cards, doing all that stuff is tedious stuff that you might not want to do. Your admin's going to help you. Something magical happens, and this is what magical happens, guys. Once you hire that first staff, it's going to scare the living crap out of you, okay? Because you're now responsible for a human, okay? You have to pay you got to pay them, even though it's not that much. It's every 2 weeks, by the way, right? It's not that you have to pay them tomorrow. You have to pay them in 2 weeks. But you're going to get nervous because you're responsible for someone. You're going to go sell more than you've ever sold. So not only did they free up time, they're going to save deals for you by saving cancellations, taking care of stuff that you don't want to take care of. But on top of that, you're going to go out and instantly sell more because you're nervous and having to pay this person. So I would recommend, Greg, from the beginning, bro, like I'm not organized. Most really, really good salespeople are not that organized, if I'm being honest. I am not. So when I didn't have an admin from the beginning, it hurt. And I realized it. I told my wife, I'm like, you need to do this, because if not, we're not going to see success. If that answers your question, I would say immediately. Once you know how to close deals and you know all you got to do now is go to work, hire somebody and watch yourself make more money.
No, you're absolutely right, man. I see in a similar fashion. Mark Mead does a really good job of getting people to get admins really quickly. Like I got an admin very quickly. Pretty much all of us, because like one day he looked at me, he's like, dude, if you're wasting time filling out a thank you card, why are you doing that, Greg? Like you are too much business to be wasting time filling out a thank you card. Pay somebody to do it and get back out in the field. Like,
yeah. But he made you realize that you're actually the professional, and like we're actually worth $1,000 an hour.
Yeah.
Like these lawyers, they charge $400 or $500 an hour. We're worth $1,000 an hour. Think about that.
Yeah.
If you're worth $1,000 an hour, are you gonna mow grass because you love it and it's your therapy? No.
Yeah. No. And so I see it as a force multiplier. Like in the military, we have force multipliers where like you add something in, it just creates this synergistic relationship, which makes it overly better. It's not like adding 1 + 1 + 1 is 2. It's more of a multiplication of like 2 times 2 is 4. So it's even better. Or like 3 times 3 is 9 instead of 3 + 3 is 6. Like it makes it even better by having an admin because of the things that you're talking about, because of the fear, what you have to do to like put your back against the wall to make sure you're paying the bills or paying their salary. But also like I've had Amber like save policies for me where like I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have been able to do that. I would have just been like, man, I ain't got the time. I'm just gonna go write more policies. That saves you money, which is actually money back in my pocket.
Facts. No, I actually had Erica. I actually had Erica on my call the week after you last week, and she had actually talked about like she hired an admin in the very beginning, and her first day she saved a $1,500 policy, and that's just something that she wouldn't have done, which is crazy. Hey, I want to talk about an unfair advantage that you guys have, and I don't know if everybody's taking advantage of it, which is high level. So I don't know who's all hiring from day one, but I didn't have that unfair advantage, that cheat code where if I wanted to start recruiting back when I started, I had to hire a recruiter. And that was like anywhere from 35 to 50, 60 grand a year to have to pay somebody. And like a brand new agent can start today, start going out and selling, realize they know what they're doing, and say, hey, I want to do this program, and it's $1,000. Andrew right now has 230 people on the high level campaign building a business. I'm excited because I went out and actually talked to Andrew, found out about the program, and I pretty much implemented the same exact program. Why reinvent the wheel? I didn't even change the name. So we actually have a high level campaign, the same exact thing going on. And like right now, last week, 2 weeks ago, we had 1 person on it. Right now we have 10. But in the next 2 months, I want to have at least 50 agents on it. By the end of the year, I want over 100 people on it. Just imagine how many people are going to be explosive being able to build their business with brand new unlicensed people. I love unlicensed people, Greg. They actually, they have no preconceived notions about the business. Nobody's ever burned them or done them wrong. And don't take it wrong, guys. They're stupid enough to believe what you tell them and go get rich. For example, someone that's been around forever, I say, hey, you're going to go write 10 grand this week. They're like, I ain't never wrote 10 grand. A brand new agent, you tell them they're going to go write 10 grand. They say, okay, yeah, I'll do it. And they go do it. They go write 12. And I'm like, I don't know how I did it. I just did it. And that's what it's all about. So anybody can do that. And dude, it doesn't take 20, 30 grand a month. Right now, with my staff, I'm spending over 20 grand a month with everything. And then with marketing, there's even more. for $1,000, they can start building a business. I would tell you, anybody on here that's serious about not selling life insurance for the rest of their life or getting an integrity partnership, get with Greg about the high level campaign, because that's an unfair advantage that I promise you I did not have. And I want to be able to make it available for my guys, but you guys have it. I just wanted to plug that, Greg. My bad.
Hey, I had a real quick question, if that's okay.
Go ahead. Who's that?
Hey, so talking about hiring like an admin, is there a good website to use or like a tool to use to where you're like hiring them on and like maybe using it for payroll? And are you putting them on 1099 or W-2, or how are you doing that with like with like your LLC and stuff?
Now, so I'm not sure where you are, but where I am, I think it's pretty much illegal to have somebody working as an admin 1099 because they're doing specific things for me. So everybody I hire is going to be a W-2 employee. They're all going to be paid through ADP, which is a payroll company, the biggest in the country. And the customer service is pretty good. Nothing ever goes wrong. My guys get paid direct deposit. They take care of taxes. We do everything for you. And where you hire people, I would just go on Indeed, bro. Don't put anything about Family First Life and just say it's an actual like W-2 position. You're going to be able to go on Indeed and find an admin.
I went on Facebook.
Yeah, so you're using
Facebook jobs.
What?
He said Facebook
What's the
jobs.
company you use for payroll again?
ADP.
ADP. Okay, that's the one you use too, right, Greg?
I do have ADP. Yeah.
They're the biggest in the country. Everybody uses them.
Yeah, I had a question, if possible.
Is it the question you typed out, Mark?
I did. I mean, how does that work with you guys with how you differentiate admin with like, do you allow them to do agent stuff
Mark,
as well?
So admins do not sell. That's your job. You don't hire people and pay them to sell for you.
Well, yeah, no, I was just kind of wondering how that is. I mean, do you ever have admins that might want to do that? I mean, how does that work? I mean, them going out, seeing that agents are doing a lot.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, with all due respect, what Greg is saying is that you want somebody that's 100% focused on your business, focused on you. And if anybody's going out and selling, they're not going to want to be an admin for long. You want somebody that appreciates the admin job, looks at the opportunity to grow. And if Aiko had ever said, I want to go sell, I just would have found a new admin because she needs to be 100% focused on this business and me. And that's why she is where she is. She used to be an admin. Now she's the operation manager of my whole entire company. You want somebody that's 100% focused on your business. But that's a great question.
Thank you.
Well said. Hey, does anyone else have any other questions? This is gold. And we got about 15 minutes left.
Does anybody ever struggle in the house? Like with anything? You're welcome, Mark.
I do, Brian. Well, I feel like I'm getting a little bit better. This is Amber Emmert. I've actually watched a ton of your in-home videos, training videos. So
Amber, I can't talk to you unless you turn your video on. I can't talk to you. So
hold
weird.
on. I'm having to hide from my kids right now.
I don't care if you're having a bad hair day.
Okay. Hold on. Okay.
There you are.
Yeah.
What's your question?
No, I'm just saying I would like some in-home tips because I've had a little trouble of just like tying it down, people that want to think about it. And it's hard for me to kind of push them past that.
Okay.
And I was saying that I have watched a bunch of your in-home videos. I'm new, I'm like about a month in, and I've never had any sales experience. I was a teacher before this. So.
Awesome. So Amber, what I would tell you, Amber, you said you were a teacher?
Yes, sir. Not anymore. I resigned. I'm all in sales now.
Listen, you're gonna kill this. Because a lot of what I do, actually, I'm in the home teaching people. Okay.
Right.
I educate them, I teach them, I lead them. People want to be led. They're like sheep. Okay. So did you take control? And when you were in the classroom, you took control.
Yes.
What grade did you teach?
I've taught everything, but the last I taught was elementary physical education. So I had kindergarten through 6th grade.
If you don't take control of that, you're beat. So you definitely took control.
Yeah.
You're gonna do the same exact thing here. You're gonna take control. You're gonna take the lead. You're going to know that you're the professional, right?
Mhm.
And they called you for a reason. You're there to fix something. What you want to do is you want to find out their why. If you're not finding out their why, you're kind of beat. So what I would do, and you can write this down, I don't know, but what I would do in the home, or you could just remember it, I don't care.
All
I
right.
will go in and I'm not going to really continue until I find out their why. So when I get to the place, if you watch my training, you know, I go in, I tell a couple little stupid jokes. I take my shoes off, say my feet don't stink. You know, I got it in there. Oh, you don't got to take your shoes off. Oh yeah, I do. My mom used to hit me. You know, I say stuff like that. And I sit down at the table and then I tell them a little bit about me so they know who I am. I'm a big, scary black guy, so I have to smile a lot. You know what I mean? But they know that I'm there to help them. I tell them, hey, I'll be honest with you, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent. I do all that stuff in the beginning, but then I'm trying to find out what their why is. I'm asking them like questions, like, you know, who was the smart one that filled this out? What was your major concern? And then I let them talk. A lot of times, Amber, and a lot of people might experience this, and you might do it, especially if you're nervous. You might ask a question and then answer it for them. You ever notice that? Like, so who filled this out and what was your thought? Were you thinking that God forbid if you died, your mortgage just, were you thinking that God forbid you died, you didn't want to leave anybody with this burden? You realize you took all your power away, all the potency. You don't have anything because you answer for them. Okay. And I love awkward silence. Like I'll sit here right now and say something to you and I'll just look at you. You'll be like crawling in your skin, like you'll want to say something and I'll just be looking at you like, but then you'll feel the tension. Sometimes that's what you need to close deals, okay? But going back to the why, without a why, you have nothing. I want to know a real why is enough to make you cry, okay? But once they give you that, you use it. Have you ever heard me talk about my one training where I was talking about, I wish I would have worn the shirt because it would have been kind of cool. But I got a Jurassic Park shirt. Have you ever heard me talk about like
I don't
when
think
you're
so.
going through okay, so when you're going, and everybody can think about this. Check this out, Amber. This is good. You ready? When you're going through the client worksheet in the beginning, and we're laughing, we're talking, I'm getting information, that's Disney World. Okay? Happy-go-lucky, everything is cool, peaceful, right? When I'm asking you to make a commitment and buy this damn life insurance, right? And give me a check and avoid a check and an ID, that's Jurassic Park. Well, here's the thing. In the beginning in Disney World, they're going to tell you everything you need to know. They're being honest with you. They're so upfront with the information. They're just giving it to you, right? Me and you now, everything they're giving you, you take that ammo and you put it on your clip. You load it in your clip. You load it. You load it. Everything they give you, you load it. Oh, you can't stay in the house. Oh, man, you make this much money. And if you didn't have this, the reason why you got it is you wouldn't be able to stay here. Like they tell you everything you need to know. Load it in the clip. And at the end, when they start talking crazy, you say, hey, so which option makes sense for you? And then they're like, oh, well, we need to think about it. Hey, Amber, I understand that you said you want to think about it. Most of the time when people say that, I haven't given them enough information to make a wise decision. Did I explain everything to you? Yeah, well, you did, but we just want to think a little longer. And then guess what you do? You pull out your gun, you aim it at them, and you start shooting them, right? What I mean by that is the stuff that they told you, oh, well, I wouldn't be able to live here. Well, we wouldn't be able to afford it. You throw all the stuff back at them. And then you say, hey, in the last few minutes, did something change, Amber? Because you told me, God forbid, if Bob were to pass away tomorrow, you'd be stuck. You didn't know what you would do.
Yeah. I think
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing this on purpose.
Okay.
Amber, help me understand. You feel that silence?
Yeah.
It's freaking weird, right?
Yeah.
You ever do that?
No, I don't know if I could do that without laughing. Honestly, I got to practice it.
Okay. If you want to make money, you will.
Yeah.
Because it's a game until you're broke. And then it's not a game. And then when you figure it out, then you be like, damn, that dude was smart. Because this stuff works. It has to be uncomfortable. Guess what? People don't make decisions until it's uncomfortable.
Mm.
The number one thing I would tell you also, when people know that you actually care and your heart's in the right place, nothing else matters. I go in the house and say some of the craziest stuff ever, but people know I'm genuine. They know I'm honest. They know that I'm coming from the right place. So like, do I have a fear of being judged? Nah. Like, and I don't care what people think. The reason I don't care what people think is I know I'm there for the right reason. I know that I'm fighting for the family. And more importantly, people need to know that you're going to fight for them. I literally tell people like, look, something happens to you, I'm going to put my foot on the insurance company's throat to get your family paid fast. That's why I'm here. And people just like, damn, this guy's crazy, but he's our crazy fighting for us. I'll do this one. You know what I mean? I hope that helps a little. The other thing is, are you telling stories in the home?
No. I think my main insecurity is just like not knowing the products well enough. I feel like if I knew the products a little bit better, I would be more comfortable with my conversation.
With all due respect as well. These people, you think any of these people know America? You think any of these people know, they know Mutual of Omaha, but do they know America? We sell 99% America. Do they know America?
No.
They know Amber. Get a damn brochure, right? Excuse my language. Get a brochure. It says critical, chronic, terminal illness, return of premium. It says everything on there. Whole life, it tells you everything. That's all you need to know. Term, it's going to pay out for a certain period of time. At the end, they get their money back if they're healthy enough, right? Whole life pays, it's whole life. It lasts forever. That's all they need to know. They need to know and like you. Your confidence comes from you knowing that you're there doing the right thing and you're the professional. A lot of times, and this last point I make, and then I'm gonna open it up for someone else. The last point I'll make, Amber, is, and I'm gonna ask you this, be honest. Would you ever fill out one of these forms? I wouldn't. Would you ever fill any of them out?
No, not unless I was interested.
But you wouldn't, right? Like, I'm not filling out one of these forms. Even the mortgage protection one, I probably wouldn't fill it out, right?
Right.
So you're coming from your position. You wouldn't fill it out, so you're not thinking that they actually filled it out. They're the people that actually filled it out, and they filled it out for a reason. They need it. Remember that. Be the doctor. When you go to the doctors, whatever the heck they tell you to do, you're going to do if you're dying. Hey, you're going to have a heart attack, or you just had a heart attack. Do you want to live or you want to die? I want to live. All right, you need to do this. 75 hard. Okay. Whatever it takes to live, you're going to do it, right?
Right.
I appreciate it. I really hope you get it together. I want to see you winning because you should be winning.
You.
There's no reason why you wouldn't.
Well, last I'm getting better each week. Last week on Friday, I sold 3 for 3 in one day, so I was pretty excited about that.
For real?
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Keep up the good work. And listen, you start telling stories in the home. You start challenging people and not caring about being judged, because you care about being judged. I can tell. But if you stop caring about being judged, start telling stories in the home, and use what people tell them, what people tell you against them, you'll have some days where you close 8 out of 8. You'll have crazy days like that, Amber.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I guess I could take one more question.
Yeah, I was gonna say we have time for about one more question. Anybody?
Well, Bryan, I don't have a question. I just whoever just was started to talk, you can ask your question. But I just had one point on what you said, which I love your straightforwardness and like how direct you are with people and with clients. And I have a question for you. How long have you been, in the industry for?
Okay, so I got in the industry back in 2000, the end of 2010.
Okay.
And to get probably what you want out of me, I'll tell you, I wasn't always so direct until I had my first death claim. And like, then it became really, really real to me about what we do. So like, I'm not going to play around with it. And David, I know like when I'm in a house with someone, there's a 99% chance that they're not going to ever sit with anybody else and talk about life insurance again. So I'm like the only shot that these people have. If I let them down, I freaking really screwed their family over. You know what I mean? So do I take it personal? Yeah. But if I leave a house and they don't get insurance, guess what? you guys on this line, if you don't leave it all on the table, you probably feel crappy when you leave. You probably feel like, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. Oh man, I probably could have said this or that. I don't think about these people ever again. If they died tomorrow, I'm not trying to be dark or mean. If they died tomorrow and didn't get life insurance from me, oh well, because I left everything on the table. I literally poured my heart and soul out to these damn people to try to serve them and help them. If they didn't get it, they didn't want it, that's on them, because I left it all on the table. If you can feel that way when you leave a house, bro, you're going to be direct. You're going to challenge them. You ain't going to care about being judged. Does that make sense?
Yep, absolutely. No, I mean, it just feels like, you know, why I asked that is, you know, you have 10 years in the industry, which the way you're talking, you know, it feels more like you've been doing this your whole life, 30 years, 40 years, which I think it's credit to kind of the system we have here, which is shrinking that, you know, time period of 20 years, 30 years to get these skills, because you do so many appointments, because we have leads, that you've now shrunk that. And I believe that there's an agent that can get to, you know, your same, you know, knowledge and directness and, you know, comfort and ability to train people in a few years versus, you know, 20 years.
So everything you're saying is right, David. With the system that we have, we didn't have this. Somebody can get here in a month. Greg,
even sooner, yeah.
So listen, Greg, Matt Smith, all the top trainers in the company, myself, I've literally done a download dump of everything in my head. If you look up Bryan Mendenhall right now, there's 100 videos that are going to pop up. I've given everybody every tip I have. And then I was like, damn, I probably should have probably should have put a copyright on that. But no, I'm just giving it out to serve people and help. I don't make money when you listen to my training. You can go make a 500. I train most of the company on sales. I don't care. I just want people to win. But you can go get everything that I've given and all these other guys have given and go get these results your first month in the business. Obviously, you're going to get more comfortable, but the longer you do it, you get more comfortable. But there gets to a point where you can't really get better. You just like, you're at that level and you stay a student of the business, because if you're not growing, you're dying. So does that make sense?
Right. Absolutely.
I like the style, bro. You're going to kill this thing here with us.
I appreciate it. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Definitely.
Bryan, thank you so much for coming on board. I knew this was going to be a fire trade.
Hopefully I helped and somebody got something out of this. I really, man, like I said, you killed the call with us. I was just trying to come to the same level as you, man, because that call was nuts. Like I still hear about it. They're like, Greg. I'm like, yeah, I know, it was good. But I just wanted to come and try to deliver the same passion and, you know, humbleness that you did when you came on board.
No, man, you crushed it. I know Barbara and Amber got something from you. Definitely. So thank you so much, man. We can share the recording. I put it in a Google Drive and I'll probably put it on YouTube, but we can share the recording with you if you want to share it to your team.
So Greg, maybe in like a month or two, bro, when you want me back on, we'll do a straight Q&A with some role playing included. And I think that can help a lot of people. Maybe you'll have new people on. We could go over different stories and stuff like that. Anything I could do to help, okay, bud?
Absolutely, man. And same to you. If you ever need me to come back on and do it, any kind of like,
gotcha. I'm taking you up on it.
Just let me know. All right? I'll come
guys.
do my in-home.
Appreciate you guys.
You guys go make it a fantastic week.